me do my two-step.
Premiumbeat.com.
Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to Nerdology channel. And ladies and gentlemen, I think I have come across the best possible Bluetooth speaker under the price of £1,000 or $50, and that is the DOS SoundBox Pro Plus. I know that it's a very long name, that it sounds like another brand with a very fruitish theme, but again, this is the speaker that I came across, and I'm gonna tell you why it's so special and why you might want to consider buying it. So let's go over the specs. I know they're not going to be very special until I show the trick up its sleeve, but so far, yeah, we're just going to go over the specs quickly. It does have IPX5 water resistance, so don't be very encouraged to take it to the pool and drop it in and expect it to survive. It is not going to survive. You can splash it with water and it's going to be fine, but it is not IPX7, it's just IPX5. It offers 24 watts of total output, which is really, really loud. It's not the loudest, it's somewhere around the mid-range, but again, 24 watts is plenty enough. It's provided by two drivers, each one of them provide about 12 watts, which is fantastic. And it's got a separate base radiator in the front and obviously in the back, which is really, really great. Again, the base is plenty ample. On this speaker, it's about half a kilogram-ish, maybe 0.6 kilograms. So it's relatively light, but I'd say it's somewhere around the middle. It's not very heavy. It's not gonna really hurt your hands if you hold it for long, and it's not gonna really weigh down a bag if you put it in a bag. So I think, yeah, the weight is somewhere around the middle. It's not very light. It's not very heavy. It's just about right, considering the size and considering the sound that it provides. It has Bluetooth 4.2 plus EDR, not the latest Bluetooth standard. I would have preferred Bluetooth 5.0, but hey, for that price, I can't ask for everything, which is, again, it's good. Saves the battery, minimal latency. It gets the job done. It's just a really good Bluetooth standard overall. And yeah, and it provides about 15 hours of battery life if you turn off the extra bass function, and if you turn off something else that I'm going to come across. But yeah, if you turn off these functions, you're going to get about 15 hours of battery life. Mostly for me, I have these two functions turned on all the time, so I get about somewhere around 8 hours. Again, I think with 8 hours to 10 hours, it's a really good range for battery life. I have no complaints whatsoever when it comes to the battery life overall. There's also a really fun feature that you can use. You can use this add button in order to add a similar speaker, exactly the same model. You can connect them, pair them together, and you can play the same music using both to have pretty much twice the power and twice the volume and twice the sound. They will both sound very, very good. To have this kind of like stereo pairing function, which is really, really fun if you have another pair. So that's really good. On top of just being a standard Bluetooth speaker, there's this mode button which allows you to change from these modes: the auxiliary mode and the SD card mode. So you have the auxiliary port here and the SD card here, and obviously it charges using USB 2.0, and it's got a nice little reset button which enables you to reset the speaker. And luckily though, I never had to use this button whatsoever. Now, if we're going to talk about the construction quality, all of it is plastic, but it's the soft kind of plastic. It all feels soft across the board. Every part of the speaker just feels like soft, like this. It has this matte finish with a bit of rubber on it to make it a little bit durable, I guess. So yeah, it's all just soft, very matte, and yeah, it's just got these rubber stands. By the way, these rubber stands are absolutely fantastic because they keep the speakers from moving, and they've been doing a fantastic job. The speakers, they haven't moved even once, so that's really just a great job, because I saw a lot of speakers moving and jumping and bouncing everywhere and just moving from their place. It gets really annoying, and it adds a little bit of a rattling effect to the sound. These, they stay put exactly where you leave them. They stay put just the way they are. Right, and yeah, and on the side you're gonna find this. This is the only part that is actually hard plastic. You can hear the way it sounds. It's really hard plastic, and it feels a little bit like the kind of plastic you'd find in a car, in a cheap, affordable car. You'd find this type of plastic all over the dashboard. It's exactly the same type of feel. I don't know about these parts. I don't know why they didn't stick to this whole matte, soft plastic type of deal. But I guess, yeah, overall the design is a little bit just conspicuous. It doesn't really have much flair to it. So yeah, again, it's a very simple design. Not a lot going on. It's very simple, very easy to use. All right, so that's it for the design and also for the features. So far, you're probably asking why or what makes this thing so freaking special. Why would I pay $50 or almost £1,000 for speakers that are just on par with the competition in every possible way? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the one trick that you will have and you will be very impressed with is this feature when I turn them on. That was not turned on. Okay, so the button needs a little bit of a press. Yes, that is how you turn it on. And as you can see, oh boy, the lights look absolutely amazing. This is the one big trick up its sleeve. The speakers themselves, they light up in white and they change the, again, you can see this, they change the lights. They beat and pulse according to the beat. Now obviously it's not a one-to-one sync with whichever song you're playing, but it tries to keep up. And again, it's really fun to look at. You're not really going to look at these things and see whether they can keep up or not. No, they're just really, really fun to look at. There are about 6 colors here, and you can see it changing just like this, gradually changing in a very smooth way. Even if you have it turned on like this, just without playing anything, it's really, like in a dark room, it's really fun to look at. It's like one of those RGB speakers for those gamers who have everything in RGB. This feels like an RGB speaker, and it just looks great. I just love the way this thing looks. So yeah, I mean, the design itself isn't special. Once you look at it from the front and you turn it on, wow, just what, it looks fantastic. You cannot keep your eyes off it. I just love the way it looks. So I'm gonna go into the sound experience, but I'm just gonna let you be the judge. I'm gonna play a soundtrack for about 10 seconds. So this is not gonna be the best judge for sound quality, but again, if you want to listen, there's gonna be a 10-second soundtrack. So for you, in order for you to be able to judge. But yeah, again, I'm going to go over the audio bit by bit after you listen. So here you go, guys. Here's a listen. All right, let me just turn it on. All right. All right, okay, so this was almost about 10 seconds, and this showed a little bit of bass, showed a little bit of details for what these things can pull off. So I'm just gonna turn them off. All right, you can get this extra bass function, which amps up the bass. I don't think it amps up the radiator itself, where it turns on the bass radiator itself, because there is bass when this mode is turned off. But it really amplifies the bass. And for me, I always prefer it with extra bass turned on, because it really makes the bass that much richer. Now the bass is good already without the extra bass mode. But again, if I turn it off, I feel like, you know what, like this speaker could provide a little bit more. And yeah, again, for me, I just prefer to leave this thing on, the extra bass, to listen to what this thing can do. Now, for 24 watts of power, I expected just a little bit of extra volume, just a little bit of loudness, although it's plenty loud. But I've seen other speakers with similar sound output, maybe even around 20 watts, and they were capable of providing higher volume. Now, Is it related to the devices that I have it connected to? Maybe, I don't know, but I've had other devices with similar output and they could provide more volume. Now, does that say that they're not loud enough? No, they are plenty loud. These things can just pretty much fill a room with sound, and they are not gonna just fall apart when you turn on the volume. Some speakers, when you turn on the volume all the way up, they just fall apart. The bass falls apart, the treble, everything. It just becomes a complete mess when you turn the volume all the way up. These things, they just maintain their posture just fine. Everything is maintained. The bass is there, the highs are there, the mids are there. Everything is very, very balanced. And across the board, these things offer some of the best highs I've seen in any speaker. Honestly, some of the best highs, a lot of details. These things are rich in details, trust me. The pianos, the strings, the instruments, the separation, the soundstage, all of it, it's fantastic. Sometimes I was honestly just blown away when I heard a certain soundtrack. Some of the maybe the lower frequencies of whichever frequency I'm talking about, whether it's low or mids or highs, some of these frequencies really just kind of like they were amped up. They came to the front, and I was able to hear them a lot more. They were just a lot clearer, a lot more accentuated, and that was just fantastic. It really just like gave me a new look on whatever soundtrack I'm listening to. So again, sound-wise, these things are fantastic. They're absolutely brilliant. The mids are also very rich and deep. There's a lot of detail to it. And last but not least, the bass. Look, here's the thing. Don't expect the bass that would shake your room. Don't expect this kind of bass because, again, look at the size of this thing. It's not the biggest thing. It is relatively big in terms of size. Like, here's me holding it with two hands. It is relatively big. Don't get me wrong. But again, with 24 watts, you really can't do much. There are other speakers, like I can't compare it to the JBL Boombox, for example. This thing is gonna provide gobs of bass, and it's gonna be plenty enough to sink the whole room in bass, right? But for this thing, the bass itself is just superb. It's some of the best I've ever heard on a speaker of that size, and it's just plenty satisfying. That's it. Period. It's just satisfying to listen to. Whether you're listening to soundtracks that are geared up towards bass or highs or mids, whichever kind of track or soundtrack you're listening to, it's gonna sound fantastic on these things, and it's gonna be plenty loud. If you're in a room and turn these things all the way up, they are gonna be very loudly heard across other rooms, not just your room. So I gotta say, guys, the battery life, the construction quality, this awesome, amazing light show. Let me just give you another look at it. It just looks amazing. Look at this light show. This is a huge bonus for me. The sound itself, the battery life, the looks of it, the whole light show thing. It's absolutely amazing. I love this thing. It's one of my all-time favorite Bluetooth speakers. And I really can't recommend this enough. I can't recommend anything else. There might be some other solid competitors in terms of sound, but in terms of looks, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure some other speakers could achieve this kind of combination, the sound as well as the looks and the light show. This is a really good option. So that was it for the review, guys. I hope you maybe consider to buy. Maybe if you like the speaker, pick it up and tell me what you think down in the comments down below. And I'm going to include the purchase links in the description box, so make sure to check that as well, because the prices are subject to change, obviously. And hey, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to check out more videos from Neurology channel. I'm Mohamed, and thank you for watching.